weekend went, the good and the bad, but I think going into the weekend, if we could get a split at Mankato State, we'd have been happy with it. Played really well on Saturday night. For the most part, maybe 35 minutes of the game, I felt like we played really well. And Sunday was a little bit different, so we left there with a little bitter taste in our mouths. But all in all, I liked what I saw in the first weekend, given what we've done and what we've practiced. And so all in all, pretty good. A lot of good signs.
Mike, now you got coming up maybe the toughest test of the year in Northern State. I guess just what's it going to take, to beat, really good, a top 10 team?
One of the things that we talked about before we left is making sure that we play really well as a team, both offensively and defensively. We have to be a cohesive unit that works well together in all aspects of the game. And, Northern State will make you do that. If you don't, obviously, you're not going to get the outcome that you desire. But, we're looking forward to getting back on the court and trying to correct some of the things that we didn't do quite as well and trying to replicate the things that we did do well. And hopefully our guys are ready for those challenges.
So Momo, he comes in new to the program and he earns his starting role right out of the gates. Just what does that say about what he's shown you so far and what you see in him?
Well, obviously he's done really well on the court, so far that we've had him here this fall. But I've told a number of guys, I feel like we have more than 5 starters right now. And Momo got the nod this time. I like some of the things that he can give us, some of the intangibles. He's athletic. He works hard. He competes out there. And, we can certainly continue to help him grow as a player and as a person. But like I said, we've got more than 5 starters, I feel like. And, we're not going to be afraid to go to those guys either.
Yeah. And any program is going to have turnover in any year, but almost 40% of your guys are new this year. So I guess, what does it take to build chemistry, and how have you guys done with that so far this year?
Just spending time together. I think anytime you have a new team, the more time you can spend with each other, the better off you are. We've had plenty of opportunities to spend time together too this year. And, our guys have done a good job. We have good guys, love to play, love to work hard, and we'll continue to try to do that.
Mike, Momo played really well, I thought, along with Nick Wagner. But Derek Thompson, 33 points on that opening Friday or Saturday, and then Sunday also, only playing in double figures. Just talk about the production that he played with, especially offensively this last weekend.
Well, he was a little bit of a surprise because he opted back in. He opted out early in the year because of COVID, but he opted back in, and man, as soon as he stepped back on the court, you could tell, he was ready to go. It was like he never skipped a beat, but he was with us for a long time, doing the skills, things in the summer and in the early fall, up until, I think early October is when he opted out. But, he was looking good from the get-go. And, I asked him if he was a little nervous or, about the upcoming games, and he just kind of laughed at me like, no, coach, I've been through this. And, but he went out and dominant. He was dominant on the offensive end. He actually got a lot better defensively too. So he's making strides there. And, he's becoming the player that we expected him to become when we recruited him, almost a little over 3 years ago.
It's normally like last year, you got one team you play like on a Friday and then another team on Saturday, or one team Saturday, then Sunday. This year it's going to be, you play the exact same team you just played the day before. Just kind of talk to me about how that is for your coaching staff and how different it is from the end of the first game to then 24 hours ish kind of for the next game.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. I've talked with other coaches in the league and to get their take on it. And, we all kind of feel like there could be a lot of splits this year. And, one team has the good feeling or the good fortune of having a win on the first night. but the other team's has a little vinegar in them. They're a little upset with the loss, and they have a chance to revenge it. And you know, part of the Mankato game is, and I talked with Mark and Taylor after the game. They had an edge to them that they didn't have the first night, and you know, partly because we were spanking them pretty good, I think, the first night. But they had an edge to them. They seemed like they got a lot of the 50-50 plays, made a lot of extra effort plays that we just weren't ready to handle. You know, it certainly doesn't help when you have Cody and Derek only playing 7 minutes in the first half each. But they were the aggressor, and you got to give them a little bit credit. They were really getting after us in the second time that we played them.
Okay. So first thing I got for you is you come into a new program this year and you earned a starting spot right away. What has that been like for you, and how do you make sure you live up to the responsibility that does come with the starting role?
The starting role really, I take that as a blessing because not a lot of people can start, and once you start, you feel like you feel like as a leader, you feel like you're one of the leaders on the team, and you gotta feel like if you're a starter, you gotta be able to set a role and be a big role for the team, and able to represent for everybody else. I guess I don't know.
Hmm.
So I just try to I don't know. I'm really bad at answering questions.
No, that was good. That was good. So coming up this weekend, you got maybe the toughest test of the year in Northern State. Just what is it going to take to be a top 10 team in the country?
We got to be fully bought in. I truly feel like when we go against teams like that, I feel like we always got to give in our all. And honestly, we all got to be bought in, like I said before, because they're easily going to be ready from the tip, from the start of the game. So I feel like if we come in with a good mindset and knowing that we can beat this team for a fact, because I feel like every team is beatable, no matter what their rankings are. I definitely think we'll be able to get a win.
There are a lot of new faces on this team this year, and especially for a newcomer like yourself, everything's new coming into a new program. Just what does it take to build chemistry, among the guys, and how have you guys done with that so far?
Um, it's kind of tough because even though like off the court we really haven't been hanging out as much, but really it's really at practice where we're able to build that chemistry, and that's just like really playing with each other, playing against each other, just able to just know how each other are, and even in the locker room too, honestly. I think we spend a lot of time in the locker room before we leave and just get to know each other, get to talk, laugh, and also when we're on the court, we get to compete. So we get to also know how we are on the court, how we take things on the court as well. So I feel like those are the key places where we're able to, really build that chemistry. But it has been tough because obviously COVID, we haven't been able to like, really hang out with each other. So yeah.
Momo, I'm Chaz Moots from Lakeland News. If you can believe it, we got a TV station up here in little small Bemidji. You know what? I just kind of never talked to you before too. Kind of talk about what you liked about Bemidji when you first transferred over here, and why you chose the Beavers.
I really chose the Beavers because I've heard that they've had a successful year with Coach. They started off last year really hot, but because of like some injuries, it was a setback. But I feel like if they didn't have the injuries, I feel like they would have been probably one of the top teams, in this conference. And this is a tough conference to be in the nation. So it was like, why not, try to bring, a championship to the Beavers, honestly. And honestly, I really like the facility out here too. Like, as much as how well prepared the coaches are and the training staff. Like I can't thank enough because where I came from before, we didn't really have as much stuff as we did here. So I'm really happy and thankful for a lot of the stuff that Beaver Nation got here. So that's really what brought me here.
Yeah. If someone was scouting Momo and they were trying to like an opposing team, like what would they say? They say about you, like what's your best qualities? Why are you such a good basketball player? What would they say about you if they were scouting you out?
I'd say they'll know for sure that I bring a lot of energy. especially defensively. I'm a defense player first. I feel like defense for me is everything. It builds everything. It builds energy. It builds offense. And for me, that's what they will definitely talk about. Athletic can definitely get to the rim, finish multiple ways, pass first. I love to get my team going for sure. So, and I'm very enthusiastic. I know if you guys, hopefully you guys can see it throughout the games, but I'm very energetic. I always, hype my team up no matter what, up or down. Like that's the type of player I am. Just want to continue to, try to build the team up.
For sure. And lastly, for you, obviously transferring over here, it's been really different. Usually for transferring, you got to adjust a lot, but then with COVID, it's like, man, oh man, you gotta quite. That's like a perfect storm of different stuff all going on at once. But I mean, how exciting and awesome was it to finally get back and play basketball, a sport you love, this past weekend down in Mankato?
Yeah, it felt good because at the end of the day, you gotta realize we get a chance to play basketball again. So it's like it's something that we can't take for granted anymore because once it was gone, it felt like forever. So it was just we got to just do shooting drills when we came back, and it was starting to get boring. But like once the ball was in the air, I was just nervous again because it was like all the nerves, all the system that you had before games. Like it finally came back, and it just felt good to play basketball and compete at a high level.